Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be getting into the latest updates surrounding Elden Ring Night Reign from Software, and exciting new developments in the broader Elden Ring universe. July has been relatively quiet for game news, but as of the last few days, given us a lot to discuss on like entertainment, in like the movies, like the business that is from Software and Bandai, the gameplay changes, including the new Duos release. There's a lot to cover, so if you're a fan of Elden Ring and From Software, be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay updated, but let's get started. Starting with in-game updates, the next rotation of Everdark Sovereigns is going to be here on July 31st, featuring Tricephalos, Augur, Libra, and Caligo. If you've fallen behind, you have 1 week left to catch up on previous fights and the other Everdark Sovereigns that have been released. While in-game announcements have been relatively sparse, a major update is on the horizon, which we'll discuss shortly. Beyond that, the broader Elden Ring ecosystem is still buzzing with activity. There are still people engaged in the game, talking about it, so it does seem like it's got some life left in it. Now, significant update on the way that we've been asking for since the game's release is Elden Ring Night Reign is going to be having duos, which will arrive July 30th, 2025, with the introduction of the long-awaited Duo Expeditions mode being part of patch 1.02. The highly requested feature is going to allow 2 players, obviously, to team up without the need for a third random player, addressing arguably the biggest criticism outside of crossplay for the game since launch on May 30th, 2025. Initially, Night Reign only supported solo play or 3-player co-op, leaving players very frustrated with the lack of a dedicated duos option. I know I only had one friend who had the game. We had to run with randos, and it definitely killed a lot of our runs together, so it's going to be great that we can run on duos now. The game director previously admitted that the team overlooked this mode during development, as the game was balanced primarily for trios. The community's vocal feedback, including fan-made duos mods by the modder named Yui, has pushed From Software to prioritize this edition over everything else. So patch 1.02 will include the quality of life UI improvements as well, including enhanced relics and a filtering option, and the duos mode to make the experience much smoother, which I really appreciate because I hate like 500,000 plus merc in, 500 hours in the game at this point, having to sort through my stuff. So this will make the game a whole lot smoother. Fans have expressed this mode should have been available at launch. I have, but its arrival is expected due to, the arrival is expected to enhance like the accessibility of the game and draw new players to the game as well. Which will hopefully improve its reception as well, because I know a lot of people ragged on the game on launch. People, it seems, have been growing on them, especially because Elden Ring Night Reign just surpassed 5 million players. The Elden Ring DLC has hit 10 million sales, and the Elden Ring franchise now in total has sold 45 million copies worldwide, which is a huge milestone for From Software. So these figures are huge. Especially since Elden Ring Night Reign is a multiplayer-focused spin-off and hasn't been out for even 2 months. So while it may not match up to like the unprecedented success of like the base Elden Ring game, 5 million copies for a spin-off is absolutely insane, and it's a huge testament to like From Software. It's like in huge popularity right now. Hopefully they ride this train out and they keep working on new games. Like I know they're announcing some other game after Dusk Bloods, which has the codename released for it. So if they keep going in on like maybe the Armored Core stuff too, but the Souls series, that would be great, because like they are really hitting another level and setting a standard in the gaming industry. What does this mean for Dusk Bloods though? So looking ahead, the sales numbers do raise some questions about the next multiplayer-focused title, Dusk Bloods, which is codenamed FMC. Unlike Night Reign, Dusk Bloods won't carry the Elden Ring branding and will be exclusive to the Switch 2. Factors that could limit its sales potential. However, Dusk Bloods is reusing assets from Software's other games, suggesting it's a less resource-intensive project. This could mitigate financial risks if the game underperforms. Meanwhile, the upcoming Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is expected to further boost the franchise sales. but to be honest, I'm not so sure how much it's really gonna matter, but we'll see. There's also some speculation about From Software's roadmap. Following the recent leak about Dusk Bloods, there's talk about another project, possibly Armored Core, largely due to the fact that its anniversary is coming up. Maybe a Dark Souls 3 remake, a Dark Souls 2 remake, maybe, or something entirely new. I don't see the need for a Dark Souls 3 remake, just because Dark Souls 3 holds up graphically really well right now, to be honest, and Armored Core does make sense, but just due to the success of Souls games, I'm less, like, I'm a little hesitant to go on in that one. But we could see 2 From Software releases in 2026, because Dusk Bloods is going to have its ad campaign probably at the start of 2026, then Q5, and then the game's going to release. So that leaves a whole year for maybe another game to come out. But if they're doing a massive big project, it's also possible this is not going to happen. So Sony is kind of getting their little fingers in Bandai Namco. They recently just acquired 2.5% stake of Bandai Namco, the publisher of Elden Ring and other From Software titles. This move, involving 16 million shares, is probably a part of a broader strategic partnership aimed at expanding the fan community for IPs like anime and manga, strengthening fan engagement through new content and experiences, and trying to leverage Sony's expertise in like production, distribution, and merchandising. So Sony's trying to get in there. I'm not a huge fan of Sony, so I really hope that they don't really have much say in what's going on here. But it's entirely possible that they're going to have, like, with this percentage, a huge say in what's going on in the future of Bandai Namco and, like, From Software development decisions. While the partnership doesn't explicitly mention Elden Ring or, like, video games specifically, Bandai does have a long history of publishing From Software titles, including Elden Ring, Armored Core, and the Dark Souls trilogy, combined with Sony's existing stake in, I'm not going to pronounce it, but a company that basically owns From Software as its parent company. So this acquisition positions Sony to have, like, again, like, a huge influence in what happens for future From Software games. So I'm not super pumped about that. Implications for From Software. Sony's growing involvement raises questions about the future for From Software projects. While Sony has been discreet, not directly referencing From Software in these deals, their investments do create a huge web of sort of influence across the development and publishing process. So, however, From Software has been vocal about expanding its publishing capabilities over the past, I want to say, 4 years, which may reduce the reliance on Bandai Namco. Fans have expressed mixed feelings about Bandai Namco's promotional strategies, often critiquing their last-minute marketing and, like, very excessive spoilers, which I get that as well. Could From Software shift to self-publishing lead to a different era of creative control? To be honest, I don't know, because I'm a more new Souls fan, but from what I know is that From Software is, like, the top for, like, gaming, like the gaming industry. Like, Elden Ring wasn't $80. I'm Canadian, just if you're looking at the, like, cost. But, like, it wasn't super expensive. The DLC, like, they said it's gonna be the size of Limgrave, and it was enormous. Like, they've been kicking it out of the ballpark recently. They're not doing microtransactions. I'm not gonna get into it, but Ubisoft recently said players love microtransactions. So I think From Software, if they do something, I have a good bit of faith just based on that. I'm gonna talk about the Elden Ring movie now. The Elden Ring movie has had some casting rumors. It's produced by A24 and is going to be directed by Alex Garland. While details remain pretty scarce, recent rumors of a first glimpse out of a potential cast. So someone like Ben Whishaw, I might butcher these names, I'm not super into, like, actors. Known for roles in, like, Skyfall, No Time to Die. Kit Connor, hopefully I'm not screwing this up. Fresh off working with Alex Garland on Warfare. Connor has an experience in video game projects like A Plague Tale. I recommend Xenoblade Chronicles 3, that I do know. As well as some other guy who's recognized for performance in Alien. Okay, so Kane's Case Man. These actors suggest that A24 is assembling a pretty good team, at least for me, as long as it's not like The Rock, Jack Black, and Tom Holland. I have faith that it's not going to be just some cash grab movie, so that's good news. It's not so far seeming to feature any household names. I feel they would have announced this to boost the hype for the movie, which could be for better or could be for worse. There's some actors who could totally play a great role in the movie. So just to go over everything once again, this wraps up like the news update from like the Duo Expeditions mode that are coming on July 30th, Sony's moves on From Software, as well as the stuff with the movie, and also Bandai Namco potentially going into a more self-dependent publishing situation. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video or news drop. Subscribe if this is something that you're interested in, or if you're just interested in like entertainment content, go check out my shorts. All right, doodles.